Hi, in this video, I'm going to explain how to find the domain of a function with some example. If you like my videos, please like, share, and subscribe my channel. That the domain of a function f is the set of all inputs x such that f of x is defined. Some helping tips. The denominator is not equal to 0 for a rational function. Number 2, if you have a square root of function gx, then the gx must be non-negative. If you have a natural log or any log function with any base, and you have a f of x, natural log of f of x, then this f of x must be positive. Now I'm going to explain how to find the domain of a function with some examples. All right, here are the examples. I have example number 1, f of x equal to 2x over 3x minus 2. So for the domain, the denominator 3x minus 2 cannot be equal to 0, which implies that x cannot be equal to 2/3. All right. Now let's look at this in the number line. So this is our reference point 0, and let's say this is 1, and 2.3 is somewhere right here. That's 2.3. And this point is not included, so I'm gonna circle that one. Okay, circle that to say that this point is not included, and we're gonna highlight everything except 2/3. And this highlighted part is the domain of this function. So the domain is going to be the interval negative infinite up to 2/3, and other one is a 2/3 up to infinite. And make sure that you are using the parentheses because 2/3 is not included, and you put the union sign. So domain of this function is the union of these two intervals. All right, let's look at another example. Okay, so again, for the domain, we want to say that x squared minus 5x plus 6 cannot be equal to 0. Well, we can factor out this, and this is going to be x minus 2, x minus 3 cannot be equal to 0. This implies x minus 2 cannot be equal to 0, and x minus 3 cannot be equal to 0. This means x cannot be equal to 2, and x cannot be equal to 3. So we can describe this the domain of this function in sentence saying that the domain of this function g is the set of all real number except 2 and 3. Now we're going to put that into the interval notation. So let's draw the number line. Okay, and we have a reference point 0, and we have these two numbers 2 and 3. 2 and 3. And these two numbers are not included. So we're going to highlight and by open circle 2 and 3. And then we highlight everything except 2 and 3. And this highlighted part is the domain of this function, which we can write down as the union of three intervals. So domain is going to be, the first interval is negative infinite all the way up to 2. And make sure that you are using parentheses from 2 to 3, another highlighted part, and using the parentheses, close by the parentheses, and union, and this the last highlighted part, which is 3 to infinite. So this is the domain of this function. Here's another example. Square root function. All right, here for the domain of this function, this quantity here, 3x minus 2, must be greater than or equal to 0. That means we can add 2 on both sides, and this becomes 3x greater than or equal to 2. This means x is greater than or equal to 2/3. And this describes the domain of this function. Means domain of this function is the set of all real number greater than or equal to 2/3. Now we can write down this in the using the interval notation. So we're going to put that into the number line. Okay, so we have a 0 here as a reference point of the number line. Then we got the 1, and so this number here is greater than or equal to 2/3. So this 2/3 is like a little bit less than 1, right? So 0.66. So somewhere here is the 2/3. That's the 2/3. And what happens here? Which part of this number line we highlight is the right part, right side of the highlight, right side of the number line from 2/3. Let's highlight that. And we are going to include this because there is an equal sign, which means you include it. And you highlight on the right side all the way to infinite. So domain of this function is that highlighted interval. So domain equal to the interval. We are going to use the square bracket because this 2/3 is included. So 2/3 up to infinite. This is the domain of this function here. All right, here's another example. We have square root of 3x minus 2 and divide by x minus 3. So we have a square root and we have a denominator without square root. So there are two restrictions. Okay, the first restriction is this quantity must be greater than or equal to 0. So 3x minus 2 greater than or equal to 0. And at the same time, x minus 3 cannot be equal to 0. So from here, we solve it and we get 3x greater than or equal to 2, and then x divided by 3 is not going to change the direction, 2/3. Okay, x is greater than or equal to 2/3, and here x is not equal to 3. So now we can describe the domain of this function in the following way. The domain of this function h is the set of all real numbers greater than or equal to 2/3 but not equal to 3. So let's put this into the interval notation. Okay, so let's draw the number line. Okay, and label these points, these 2 points. We got 0 here, and we got 1 here, 2, 3. I'm going to highlight only the points that we need. 2/3. Somewhere here is the 2/3. Okay, and 3. So let's highlight those points. And 2/3, there is an equal sign, so we're going to include. This is 2/3, by the way, 2/3, and we're going to include this point. So we have a solid dot here, and then 3. We are not going to include 3, and we highlight x greater than or equal to 2/3 but not 3. So highlight this side. We highlight x greater than or equal to 2/3 but not 3. So domain of this function is this highlighted part, the highlighted interval on this number line. So we start from the 2/3. It is included, so we are going to use the square bracket and go all the way up to 3 and close by the parentheses, and the union, open the parentheses, because we are not including these 3, and then go all the way up to infinite. This is the domain of this function. All right. Now you guys can pause and do the following, try to solve the following problems. Pause the video and find the domain of the following functions. If you guys are done, then I'm going to put the answer for these problems, okay? So if you guys are ready, here are the answer for these 4 functions. If there is any mistake in my answer, please put your comment below. And thank you so much for watching my video. If you are really happy with these lessons, please like my video and also share and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video lecture.